Welcome to Toffee TV. Obviously, in the last few weeks, there's been a massive upturn in form for Everton, even though some people haven't noticed.
That's weird,
which has led us to the verge of the European places, or in the hunt for the European places. Let's just say.
Leave it at that.
Yeah. Now, obviously, there's been, with the upturn in form, there's been an upturn in individual performances, namely Mason Holgate, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and in just general play. But we just thought we'd have a little chat about, certainly Mason Holgate to start with. What was weird was going into January, there was a lot of there was a bit of talk, certainly, that Mason Holgate could be the on the radar of a few teams below Everton, like Newcastle, like Bournemouth, and there's a couple of others in there. Obviously, his contract is hopefully getting sorted out now. It's mad the way it's turned around, hasn't it, for him?
Yeah, I mean, there's a story this week saying that Everton would have sold him in August if they would have got Kurt Zouma, which we don't, whether that's right or wrong is up for debate, but for 10 million quid, because there's inquiries from Bournemouth and teams like Sheffield United as well was another one. And then when you think of that now, obviously West Brom inquired about him, Everton knocked that back because he'd had a good season at West Brom. You look back now and think, imagine if we'd have sold him for like 9 million or something, because you think, well, he's not playing anyway. Now they're talking, to England, because that's how good his form's been. So it shows you that players, particularly ones that are unknown quantities, because I think he was an unknown quantity. He's been here for a number of years now, Mason, and we were still like, is he going to be able to do it? Remember us doing a live show in about October, and we were like, do we throw him in because Michael Keane's not playing? We may as well throw him in because Keane's just not playing well, and we'll know then. And he's come in alongside Mina, and they're the first choice partnership.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I remember early on the season we were talking about Keane, and we were all talking about having to bring someone in. And the club had basically said, well, we're bringing someone in, it doesn't matter. A lot of talk about Zouma. And it was weird how there wasn't that, when some people say some things and you just go, no, that couldn't happen. Well, not couldn't happen, but you just go, no, you dismiss it, the idea of it, because it is unlikely. And it was one of those things, just put Holgate in there. It's like, no, you can't do that. And then when he came in for the Sheffield Wednesday game, he looked a little bit ropey. And it was almost like Michael Keane played himself out of the team,
well, he did,
rather than Holgate forcing his way in. But once Holgate got into the team and has stayed in the team through those performances, he's not looked back, and now his general performances are, 7s out of 10 every week. He's had a couple of dodgy moments, of course he has. He will have, all centre-backs will. There's not many, and they're classed as the very, very best. But for me, he's just come on leaps and bounds this season, and the confidence he exudes as a player, I think is so important to not only the players around him, but the fans as well. Because he's got that kind of calmness, I think. And, there's a lot of talk at the moment about a certain centre-back who plays on Merseyside. And he sort of exudes that as well. I'm not saying Mason Holgate's on par with him, but it is that calmness, I think. Because when you're a fan and you watch players and they're erratic, and you go... Because that's what was said about Mina in the first season was, he looks a good player, but he's got those Bambi on ice legs. And even though he's turned that around, that was one of the things. I mean, we in the summer, we were talking to different people about it and going, we say about Michael Keane, well, Michael Keane's doing great, but I'm not sure about that Mina. And it's weeks, Mina's just a far better player and a better defender than Michael Keane. And yes, he still has those legs, but now that we got used to them, we don't find that a problem. And I think with Mason Holgate, he's got that as well. He just exudes that confidence that you forgive him the odd mistake, because most of the time he has that calmness.
Defenders will, like you just said, make mistakes. And ultimately, or a lot of times, it leads to a good opportunity for a goal, and then you require your keeper to get you out of trouble. But Holgate he's had, a couple of moments like turning his back on Dele Alli, trying to tackle him the wrong way, and it ended in a goal. And he should have done better with the Norwich goal at home.
Leicester's second goal.
But in general, he's been excellent. And through playing games, and the more experience he gets, the more he'll cope with those moments as we go forward. I mean, the loan at West Brom did him the world of good. He said himself this week, I think it was, or last week, it was the best thing he ever did, making that decision. Yeah. Because Everton didn't really want to let him go. Yeah.
I think the most important thing about that is that, and this is where we'll probably found with the improvement with certainly him and Dom is that if you do make mistakes and you are a young player and then the next week you find yourself out the team, you don't get a chance to rectify those mistakes or learn from them straight away. And when you come back in, there might be a little bit of rustiness and people go, oh, he hasn't learned or he's still that same player. But I suppose the one thing that does benefit you from going on loan is you will learn. And the following week, we've seen it with John Joe over in Schalke. One week he got an absolute chasing against Bayern Munich early on the season, and then the next week he played, and it wasn't a case of, oh, you're out the team, the next one's coming in, we can't. It was like at Schalke, he's been given the assurances that he's going to be in all season, and I think he actually missed the cup game this week because he is a first teamer. Yeah, like that kind of thing. Yeah. I think that's been the most important thing with Mason Holgate is the manager's probably just looked at him and gone, you're a first teamer, mate. You will. Don't make too many of those mistakes, learn from them, but you're a first teamer. And I think that's been the big leap for him and Dom this season.
Yeah, definitely. Once you feel like it took him games to settle in, Holgate, and start to think, I actually am good enough to be in here. But now he's settled in, you would look at him and go, people are saying, well, he's great, he can either play defence or midfield now, because since Ferguson put him in midfield against United, and we've seen him go into that role a couple of times in games and just step straight into it. He'd done it last week at Watford when Delph got sent off. He just went in midfield and was excellent there. So I think that belief, he has that belief in him. We seen it last year when he was on loan, megging people and then kicking people and saying, who are you, and all that. Like, he's got that little bit of self-belief. We've seen it with the Firmino incident at Anfield in the Cup a couple of years ago. We stood up and he exudes that. What he had to do was back that up with performances so that people kind of went, I'll allow you to have that little bit of arrogance now because you can play well, you can perform. And he's done it in a time when it's been turbulent for Everton, with Silva losing games and then losing the manager, and then a caretaker manager taking over, then Carlo Ancelotti coming in. And he's gone right through that consistently. Like you said, you can almost hang your hat on him. So he's made incredible strides this season. Much to, the talk of the new contract now, when people are like, we've got to get him tied down, and there's a big talk that he may be included in the England squad, which Evertonians,
that's for him, not for us.
No, Evertonians always have mixed feelings with that. I think it does him good if he was just included in a squad and then was back out again for a bit, because I think that's always that recognition. I don't think he needs to be included in the England squad, because it's not like it's the second season and he's been turning up and he's getting overlooked. I think it's proved playing for Everton you do get him, but he's had the great.
We'll see what happens. And obviously Dom as well, he's getting the plaudits now. He's getting mentioned for England with their lack of, with strikers being out for them. But he's another one, isn't he, that ever since Duncan came in and basically said, we're playing two up front, and that's been the big thing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Having two strikers instead of one. And when you've only got three strikers really at the club, suddenly it becomes a lot easier. And he is an old-fashioned centre forward who suits playing as a target man with that player off him. Whereas before, he was running, he was chasing, and he was after lost causes, but he was never in the box. And suddenly now he's in the box. He's not snatching at chances, I don't think. He's not snatching at chances for a start. So when chances come, he's having a little bit more time and composure on them. And then the other side of his game is that I think he is also the kind of striker that walks off after a game. And if he hasn't scored, he'll have wanted to score. But as long as he's played well and done something for the team and the team has won, he's quite happy with his game. You've seen him on Saturday against Watford at the end, what it meant to him. And he wasn't great, wasn't brilliant. But he also helped win like the corner for the first goal. And it's like little things
affecting the game.
It's like little things like that he started adding to his game where, like you just said, he's affecting it now.
I think the thing with him was under the previous system with Silva and towards the end of Koeman and whenever Allardyce played him, just one up front. So he just was never in the right place because it's very difficult to go and win the ball and then get hold of it, knock it wide and get back in the middle. And you know, we talked to Kevin Campbell the other week about it, and he was saying he was doing all the good work outside the box. He was never in the box, which was always my concern with him and criticism, was that you're not in the right place. You're our striker, no good to being out in the wing or midfield. And now he's got someone alongside him to share the load. He's getting into those areas, and like you said, because he's getting more opportunities, he's not snatching at things anymore, so he's not going to score all the time, but he's getting shots away, and we've seen him have half a dozen shots in a couple of games this season, which is a lot for him. He used to go 6 games without a shot, so it's big improvements, and with that we've seen him score goals. So.
And I think I think a big big evidence of that is from last season. Towards the end of the season, last season he had a great run in terms of games, maybe not scoring, but games. But when we went away from home, he'd never looked the same, and he was missing chances because we were playing away and we weren't committing as many men forward. But when we were playing at home, obviously he was winning a lot of flick-ons, doing a lot of good work in the air, holding up the ball, allowing then the likes of Charlison and the full-backs and Sigurdsson to drive forward. But when we were away, we never took those chances because we had and playing one up front. So when he was snatching the chances, and there was times that the likes of Fulham and Crystal Palace where he really should have scored goals. Yeah. But that was highlighted because we weren't getting any other chances.
Else,
So this season, I think his all-round game, and again, like we said about Holgate, that confidence of being, you know, he decided to take the number 9 shirt. Early on the season, like we were saying before, he was in and he was out and he was in. Even after the Bournemouth game when he scored, I think he was out the next game.
He was dropped the next game, yeah.
Yeah, he was dropped the next game.
He didn't even get on. When we played Sheffield United at home, he got beat 2-0, he didn't even come on.
Exactly. And I think we had 4-4-2 in that game as well towards the end. Exactly. So the manager didn't have a clue what was the best system. And I think that always helps or goes against you if the manager doesn't know the best system, is always trying to search for something. It's not going to help the players. So, and again, since Duncan come in, given more coaching, I think Duncan taking the coaching, putting the aggression into him, belief into him, saying to him, you'll play every game. You will play every game, so stop worrying. Again, take that factor away of stop worrying about playing. You're playing next week. Relax and start playing this game. And you know, we've seen him come on so much with that, I think, as well, that confidence.
Leaps and bounds, you know, it's linked with a move to Manchester United, and by anyone would want to go to United is beyond me, but he'd been linked with a move away, and Everton are talking to him about a new contract and all that. And he's another one who's improved. He's improved one of the most, I would say, in our squad over the last 12 to 18 months. Definitely. Really gone up levels, because there was big, you know, people still say he's a championship player, which is berserk, because he's a brilliant centre forward. 10
goals in the Premier League.
10 Premier League goals, yeah.
That's not easy.
No.
That is not easy.
Not when he's in about, I don't know how many starts, but there was a lot of times he was out the team earlier in the season. So he's done incredible.
And he's played 100 Premier League games as well.
Yeah. And the thing about it is it's improving every season. You know, it was 6 goals, 8 goals, you're on 10 now. So if he keeps going, you know, that's the trajectory you want. You don't want a great start and to tail off. So I just think having another centre forward up there helps him. Having someone like Richarlison up there who does a load of work as well, the pair of them work in tandem, it's a nightmare for people. And then I've got Dom's abilities, and I don't think we make the most of his abilities.
No,
either.
not all the time.
I think he's great at running in behind. If we give him the opportunity, we don't tend to do that with him, but he's proved he can do it. And also our deliveries into the box, he's great in the air. So let's.
We've been changing the angle of where they come from, especially with Sidibe. He tends to bring them in from the edge of the box rather than from the bar. So where it's coming back and you've got to meet it. He's putting them in where centre forwards can run onto them.
On it as well, then, and you can.
And we've seen that with Richarlison, and we've seen that with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So anyone else sort of call you like? I mean, Moise Keane lately has been improved with games
again. Yeah, he's been much improved over the last month, definitely, and he looks like a handful now. I mean, he was heavily involved in the winner at the weekend against Watford, and I think I loved more than that was his hold-up play at the end in the corner flag, trying to win the game. And I like that because of what happened the game before. It's like they took it on and kind of understand that, listen, let's not do that again. So I think he's going to really be a handful. Yerry Mina, you mentioned it before, he was ravaged with injury last year. I think he only played 15 games all season. But I think this year, I still think he's been Everton's most consistent player all season. I think Holgate has been glittering lately with his performances, but Mina for me has been our best player this season for the simple reason that he's got in and he's took that by command. Other players haven't played as well, but we've seen a real upturn in the likes of Bernard's form since Ancelotti come in as well. But then again, he didn't even get on the pitch last week, and he's been speaking this week about, he's calm, you know, the manager wants me to do this and he wants me to do that. So
I think that's more because of Bernard's role has changed. Not going down the byline, and then now with them coming inside more and actually being that playmaker, that number 10. You know,
well, he got into double figures for Shakhtar doing that.
Yeah.
And we saw in the last game he played, which was Newcastle, he got the standing ovation and all that because he was brilliant that night. He had 4 or 5 shots, I think, in that game. And one of the things we've said for ages, he just doesn't shoot. He gets the opportunity and looks to pass, where against Newcastle, he should have scored one of them with a brilliant move and he dinked it over the keeper. But if he can do that more, he'll be more of a handful again. His game will go up another level. I think other players are there or thereabouts. Form's got a little bit better. Some players still haven't reached the heights like Luca Dean and that. But if you're looking through the team, you know, the big one is always Tom Davies. When you're talking about Holgate and Calvert-Lewin as 2 young lads who've really took their opportunity, Tom again seems to be treading water. You know, you're still sitting here going, he's played a lot of games, only 21 still, so he is only young, but he's had a lot of Premier League games.
Do you think now, and I think we've already mentioned this on maybe a couple of videos this week, do you think now is that time that maybe when you look at his progression, you say, maybe now you do need to go on loan now? You've played a lot of games, you've hit a bit of a wall, you've got good players ahead of you, and maybe for the best of everyone, and I'm not talking about leaving the club and not coming back, but maybe for the best of everyone, trying to find them that move like John Joe Kenny, where you can go away and cement some kind of position, play for a year,
get a bit of form,
because this is what he don't forget, he's had a good run this season. He played for the under-21s a couple of times for England, got man of the match, coming to the Everton team, and had a decent run of form, and we were really short on players, and people were going, this is Tom Davies. And then we had a lot of games at once over Christmas. He went back in and out the side, and then suddenly when he started coming on the pitch, he was snatching at things, and he wasn't getting into games. I think that's Tom's biggest problem, that when he comes off the bench, he doesn't get into games. And it's a real
He doesn't really come on in at the right position though either. When he comes off the bench,
he's
shoehorned into going, certainly against the likes of Newcastle, going on the left. Played off the left against Man City away, and it's not his position. But I think I see Tom as a long-term squad player. I do, as part of the Everton squad. He's not someone I'd be looking to sell. I think he's got something, most definitely, good enough to be an Everton player. But there's no consistency with him. And I think the problem is when you're a player with no consistency, it's how you get in the team.
How do you get that consistency?
And so you look at the Everton squad and say, well, you know, obviously now you couldn't because we're late, but in the summer, just say for argument's sake, Gomez is fit and Kabamen's fit, and they go and buy another midfielder and Delph's there. All of a sudden, he's number 5.
And do you know what else he needs? He needs that little bit of magic that all players get when they're not playing. The little bit of, oh, I mean, I've heard it recently about Mo Besic. Oh, we need to get Mo Besic back. It's that little bit of they're playing well.
They get better when they don't play.
Yeah, they're playing for someone else and they're playing well. And everyone's like,
but I think the thing with him is he's not, for me, just my opinion. I don't think he's going to develop just training every day and then playing one game every 5. I really don't. I think he's always going to be what he is. And so I'm talking about his whole development for Everton football, but not to sell him. So I would love him. Yeah, really. Send him to, I'd like him to go to, I don't know, Schalke maybe, if Kenny stays or something, and Wagner goes, yeah, I'll have him, thanks for a year on loan. And go and play in front of 60,000 people every week and go up and down the Bundesliga and get used to playing him and stay in the team. Someone who'll trust him, because I think Wagner is very good with younger players, so I think if Everton could somehow get a deal for him to go to Schalke on loan, I think it'd be brilliant for Andy playing blue. It'd be brilliant for him. And then Everton can assess him properly then. And then he comes back, say he has a good season at Schalke, he comes back to Everton with some gravitas of, I've been excellent for Schalke all season. I deserve to get in here. It's like you've just bought me from a European club and I want to compete now. And that level of form might mean he fits into an Everton team that A, is calmer than when he left it because it's under the stewardship of Ancelotti. And B, there might be a role for him then when he comes in. Because I just think if it keeps going the way it is, I don't know how he's going to force his way into the team.
I can't really, because he never quite grabs hold of opportunities. No. I actually said when we got all the injuries, or like October time or November time, I actually remember saying,
when Gomez got injured,
I remember actually saying, I said Holgate, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Tom Davies, if they can't get in this team now, they will never get in this team. Dom and Holgate have got in it and stayed in it. Tom hasn't.
Tom got in,
and he doesn't have the trust of the fans, enough fans.
No.
There'll always be that section of the park end there'll always be a section of fans that will always say he's not good enough. And the problem is that the longer that goes on, there's going to be more truth to it because he isn't developing. So I really hope that the club do start looking now and saying, right, this is for you. This is for
21.
That's what I'm saying. You've come into football earlier. You've sort of hit a brick wall, but we think it might be in your. And do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if it was somewhere like Jamie. Tom would probably grab hold of that with two hands and go, I'll have a bit of that.
I'll do it.
Go around taking pictures of the Berlin Wall and stuff while he's there. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he'd grab hold of that with two hands and go, you know what? This is a new experience. This is something different. I've got no problem.
And I think the fact that Jonjo's had such a good time there as well. Now, Kenny, we don't know whether he'll come back and be Everton's right back. I don't know.
But at least he's given himself an opportunity.
Given himself the chance. And it'll help Everton because if we do sell him, we'll get decent money for him. But he's had a great experience. Now, we might look and go, I just want to stay at Schalke. Yeah. Because it's great. Yeah. And playing in the team every week, big, great crowd. It's great.
And we've just seen Anthony Evans leave the under-23s.
Playing
is he older?
Schalke this weekend.
Is he older than Tom Davies?
Yeah.
So we've just... That's mad, isn't it? Yeah. So we've just seen Anthony Evans leave. He's gone to Paderborn. And... Okay, he was on the bench for the first game, but he'll play games. He was on the bench for the first team straight away.
And he'll play games 2 days before.
He'll play games, and so for someone like Tom, I know Germany's the big thing at the moment, and they do seem to like the idea of bringing in young English players. But I think something like that would work. I think it would suit everybody. And for Tom, just to get a year under his belt of football and just get back to enjoying football and getting back to, I don't know, just improving, just getting better. I think that's what's happened. He's hit a wall, hasn't he?
If you play in every week, your decision-making becomes quicker. And that's the one thing you've got to do in the Premier League. You see him in the Premier League, he goes past someone like they're not there. And then he hesitates. And then he ends up trying to go past the second fella and ends up falling over. Or getting the ball taken off him, whereas he needs to learn to go by the first fella, pop it off, maybe get it. Because when he's playing it first time, that's when he's at his very best. And that we noticed that when he come into the team, having played well for England. The West Ham game at home, remember, he was outstanding and everything was forward and he was and for a few weeks he was on that upward trajectory because the team was doing okay, a little bit of an uplift. And then once we hit a brick wall, he got sloppy at Leicester and ended up conceding the 2 goals. And then I always think with Tom as well, it's always who he's playing next to as well. Dictates
always like when he's playing on the front foot, I think there's a massive difference. But suddenly when you put him next to someone who's also plays, I mean, when we played Leicester, it was the midfield was
him and Sigurdsson.
Yeah, it was suddenly you're asking him to be the defender.
See him with Garner would have been sound because Garner would have mopped up and he'd have been able to go forward. In with someone like Gomez was sound against West Ham because Gomez protected the ball. In with someone like a Gabaman, I can't say Gabaman because we've not seen enough of him, but someone of that mould who's pacey and can get around the pitch. Davies would be fine with putting him next to Schneiderlin and Sigurdsson and Delph maybe. It's just not going to work for him because he isn't quick enough. So what he has to do is get his game up a level where he's popping it off quicker. Pass the ball quicker then. If you haven't got the pace to go beyond players, speed the game up. And I think he can play that way, but it's a confidence thing. And what he finds is the less confidence he has, the longer he takes to make a decision, hence why he loses the ball and they break on us. So I think it'd be a perfect thing. So that's a big thing for 3 lads who've come. I know we bought Mason Holgate, we bought Calvert-Lewin, but they were in our academy, in our 23s rather. For 3 players to come out of the 23s and be in this squad now, and Jonjo, of course, the other two have really grabbed their opportunity, and Tom's been left.
Well, I hope that drives him on. I hope that drives him on to want it, because he's a great lad.
Oh,
you know, he's a brilliant lad, brilliant Evertonian, and we want him to do well. And with Anthony Gordon there as well, pushing.
Talking to German teams wanting players.
Yeah, he might be one that benefits from a year as well.
Do you think?
Because he's so young. I don't know. I think for us as a fans, we'll want to see.
Well, we'll just finish now, but Anthony Gordon's interesting because he's in with the first team every day. He feels like he's part of that squad now. I know he wasn't on the 18 at the weekend, but he feels like he's there. So they will have a decision to make in the summer. Putting him back in the 23s next year is a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Absolutely waste of time.
It's a waste of time. You want him to.
So he either goes to somewhere like Germany, we want to take him on loan, or he's part of Everton's.
We need to buy shares in a team in Germany.
We do.
We need to buy. I know we can't 50% and all that. We need to get a relationship with someone in Germany and start sending these players over. Honestly, I think
Holland play a lot of young players, but I think that obviously the Bundesliga is much
because you're playing better opposition, aren't you? One week you're playing someone, but the next week you're playing a Dortmund, playing in front of 60, 70,000, Bayern Munich, Schalke as well. They have a
well. It will be interesting Saturday because it's Schalke v Paderborn. So I wonder if Evans will come up against
Scouts German derby.
Yeah, the Scouts derby.
There you go. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know if there's anyone else you think's improved massively this year. I mean, Yerry Mina's improved because he's actually playing football. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, give us a comment. Give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. The link's in the description. See you later.